receivables.
Okay, you should be good to go.
We're gonna give it a shot.
Good.
Seems it works better on the second time around.
I think so. Okay. So right before in the month of March, by the end of March, we were owed $78,000 in receivables. It got slightly worse in April, and due to the pandemic in May. However, since May, where we currently stand in June, we were up to 131,000. We were getting a little concerned, but between June and now, our receivables are down to $57,000, of which
Wonderful.
20,000 is over 90 days. But yes, I agree with Stuart on an overall basis. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank all the residents.
Yes, thank you to the residents. Thank you for service for doing their job and collecting all the money. Everyone's done a really great job. So thank you very much. So that's where we stand on all this. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Howard.
Right, so next we're gonna go to
New
new
business.
business.
Okay. Discuss and approve MCW proposal for the inspection of the northeast elevation stairwell and window drops. So what is the,
So
We have a problem and we don't know how to fix it and we don't know who to blame.
That's a good summary.
Basically, after we finished the concrete restoration, even though we brought this up prior to starting the concrete restoration, we saw moisture coming into our stairwells on the northeast part of the building.
around the 10th floor?
Whenever we have a strong storm with wind-driven rain, we are seeing a small accumulation on a number of floors.
Right.
So we contacted both our engineering company and the concrete restoration company to try and find out what was wrong. The first thing that the concrete restoration company told us was that they felt that the moisture may be coming through from the flashing on the roof. And he suggested we perform a test of pouring water from the roof onto the area above where we saw the water coming in, and do it for over 3 to 4 hours, which we did. At the conclusion of that, there was no water coming in from the roof. So we went back to them and said, there's something going on here. We think that we should have a platform, a skid erected, and we should go up to the 3 or 4 floors where we see moisture and inspect for cracks. CW said that visually, they don't see any cracks. And they felt, again, that water may be coming in through either people's shutters or their windows. And they were claiming that all they did was apply new stucco to the building. They didn't structurally do anything to the building, and therefore it's not their issue. So they're saying that they will provide us with a platform for the engineering company to go up to inspect and to do a water test from there. But they're requiring us to pay for the materials to use to get the engineers up the building. And that's $5,460.
Which I feel is something they should have done while they were doing the concrete restoration, because we alerted them to this problem.
Okay, so you stated in the beginning that nobody wants to take responsibility for it, and the company that
Right.
MCW was alerted to it. So it really doesn't make sense to me to have someone do a job for something they might have been inadequate doing in the first place, because I guarantee you the result is going to be, well, it's not our problem. We didn't do anything wrong. that's going to be their outcome. That paper has already been written.
No,
So,
Richard, they're not going to do anything except provide the swing stage. Bruce Bromley, the engineering company, will go up and he will do an inspection. MCW is also stating that this could be a poor caulking job done by JB Paint when they were supposed to caulk around all of our windows. We took off the shutters, if I'm correct. We took off the shutters to do the caulking. So I don't think it's a shutter issue, but it could be a caulking issue. And that's why MCW is walking away and saying, hey, it's not our issue. We didn't do any caulking.
I agree with Richard.
I think it's never, in my experience, it's never their issue. The parking lot in the back, the pavers that were shifting and everything moving okay, let's put a little concrete in there in a couple of dozen pavers, and that's going to hold all the other thousands of pavers together in one place. That doesn't make sense. And I was there when the paver guy came and when Rob from MCW was here and they had a conversation. They decided that that was the solution before they even went out and looked. That was their speculation. So when we first decided to do something a few weeks ago, we still got notice on this. I sent an email requesting that we schedule additional engineers and additional construction companies to take a look at this. So I think that's really what needs to be done. I'm not happy with MCW's work, and maybe I'm being overcritical, as I occasionally am.
So
I-
let's,
I'm not happy with MCW's work. I don't trust Bruce Bromley. I feel that what he did with the porte cochere on his 2 inspections, and then for us to fix it 2 times, and then to find out that it's got leaks, maybe coming from the roof, but they're internal, and he was supposed to have looked in there to find structural damage. I don't trust him, and
I agree.
so
that's my feeling, and
Get
my
a new-
feeling is that Bromley and MCW are in bed together, and we're the ones
let's make a
that are
motion.
paying.
Let's make a motion to get another contractor in here and another engineer company to come in here and do an inspection. So,
Well, hey, Bill, before you do that, if we're going to do that, then let's make it a dual project. Let's do the porte cochere and the stairwell with 2 new companies.
I'm fine. I have no problem with that.
Agree.
So I make a motion to move forward and get a new contractor and engineer for the stairwell that's having the issue with the water and the porte cochere.
A second.
Second, yeah.
I agree.
I'm in favor of that.
In favor.
New contractor and a new engineer.
Okay.
Take your vote.
Oh,
Yes.
Everybody.
your motion, and I,
6-0.
And then
everybody said yes.
vote, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 unanimous,
Okay.
6.
6-0.
Okay, next one is discuss plumbing issue, stack 4 of the 10th floor. I don't have the,
Okay. So this is an issue concerning the plumbing. The board, I believe the board has already received information on this regarding stack 4 on the 10th floor. Apparently there is plumbing that has been, plumbing for a washer and dryer that has been connected to the kitchen stack main building pipe. That currently, we had to go and we were called in there because there was a plumbing issue that we had to take care of, which was the building's responsibility. We had the plumber there, and as he was making the repair, he advised us that there was an issue with an additional T that was not the main building T. It was a T that belonged to plumbing going to serving an individual unit owner's washer and dryer. So he alerted us that this T in plumbing was probably done without permits, may not be properly vented, and looks like it was deteriorating and had to be replaced. So he wanted to know whether we wanted to replace it. So that started the discussion as far as why is that T in plumbing connected to our kitchen stack main building pipe? We discussed this with Stuart. I sent the board an email summarizing, and there was a request on behalf of the unit owner also making a petition to the board to consider her. So we wanted to know if there is no permit on file, which we checked with the city, and there was no permit on file for any washer and dryer installation to that unit in the past, so that we can assume that it was done and permitted. We don't know if that T and plumbing is vented property, and that should be fixed. So either the unit owner is going to have to redo that piping, first of all, to get it permitted correctly, and to replace that deteriorating T and plumbing that was pointed out by the plumber. But also we need to address whether the board wants that plumbing and T that serves an individual unit owner's washer and dryer to be connected to our main kitchen pipe.
Bonnie, I was gonna say, I have a question. How old is the washer dryer? Is it new or is it an old dryer?
I have no idea. When I walked in the unit, the washer and dryer is locked behind a closet. It may have been replaced, it may be new, it may be old. I have not.
Okay.
Washer and dryer. I just saw the.
Thank you.
I was alerted and called in. So, normally, as I'm told, with when Gabriel saw the pipe, he said this is the first time in all his years here that he has ever seen an individual unit owner's washer and dryer plumbing go directly to our main building kitchen stack. Normally, it goes to the unit owner's individual plumbing to the bathroom, and it's usually ran that way. So that is what is consistent of what he's seen in Parliament Towers. So the question and discussion for the board now is whether the board is going to request that this unit owner get this plumbing redone, permitted by the city of Pompano Beach, and whether they're going to have her reroute it to her individual plumbing in her bathroom, or if they're going to allow to leave it connected to the main building kitchen stack pipe.
Normally, this would be a slam dunk. However, I sympathize with you because they're not the ones who did this. They inherited this when they bought the unit. But the issue still remains that something has to be done.
Can I make a couple of comments?
Yeah.
Sure. go ahead.
All right. There's no doubt in my mind the washer and dryer were there before we voted and grandfathered it. That's a line in the sand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The plumber, who we all happen to know by name, it's not fair for us to ask him to do anything that is against the rules for the city to get a permit. So my stance is whoever the plumber is that Kim chooses to hire to fix it, does it to code. And that's at the unit owner's expense.
So
The question is,
I-
should that pipe be connected to should the owner's pipe be connected to the building's pipe
Well,
directly?
I don't really care as long as it's code work.
No, but you're setting a precedent in for future contractors also. That's why I'm asking it.
so
Ultimately, every drop of water that you pour down a sink or out of a washing machine winds up in the building's pipes.
well,
True,
let's
but how did
take
they
a
get
step.
there?
Let's take a step back, okay? Because Stuart, I think what you're saying has a lot of validity. First of all, if the way things are now, if something were to happen and there was some sort of a major problem, the homeowner would have no recourse